Welcome back, ladies and gents. On today's show, an EV startup unveils a 1900 horsepower hypercar. Lamborghini introduces a Huracan STO, and Mercedes breaks another Nürburgring record. I'm Tiffany Stone, and this is Hagerty's Daily Driver. Let's buckle up. This week, the hypest of hypercars was unveiled, the Elation Freedom. After 6 years of research and development, Silicon Valley startup Elation Hypercars released renderings of its Freedom supercar. Striking in demeanor, it's apparently an all-electric, all-horsepower, and all-carbon fiber rocket to luxury hypercar heaven. The company claims the handmade car will be built around a carbon Kevlar monocoque chassis with a Formula One-inspired double wishbone titanium suspension. And weight distribution is a fairly balanced 45 to 55% for the front and rear. Carbon fiber is also extensively used within the cabin and throughout the exterior design. You see it in the front splitter, the entire front fascia, and the side skirts. Now, for some hyperventilating stats. Standard will be 3 electric motors that produce 1,427 horsepower. An optional power package bumps that up to just over 1,900. The Freedom produces 1,062 pound-feet of torque, and it weighs less than 3,700 pounds. But wait, of course there's more. 0 to 60 is targeted at 1.8 seconds with a top speed of 260 miles per hour. And depending on the battery pack, EV range will be between 300 and 400 miles. And EVs are not your thing? Well, you can opt for the Freedom Iconic. Those electric motors will be swapped out for an Audi-sourced 5.2-liter V10 that produces a less than hype 750-ish horsepower, but weight drops too, by nearly 800 pounds. And 0 to 60 is still a respectable 2.5 seconds. Here's the final stat line. $2 million, or 2.3 for the V10. But with no working prototype yet, the Elation Freedom could just be a dream. And at least those are still free. Is this just vaporware or the real deal? Let us know in the comments. If you want your super sports car happiness sooner, can we interest you in a real car? It's the Lamborghini Huracan STO. Based on the Super Trofeo Evo and GT3 Evo race cars, the Huracan STO is a racetrack certified street car, even more so than the already intense Huracán Performante. Available this spring, the Huracan STO will start around $328,000. The rear-wheel drive STO features plenty of lightweight materials, suspension upgrades, extensive aerodynamics, and high-performance braking, which translates to 53% more downforce, 37% more aerodynamic efficiency, and 95 fewer pounds than the Performante. The powertrain is a carryover with the 5.2-liter V10 that produces 640 horsepower and 417 pound-feet of torque. And the transmission is the 7-speed dual clutch. But the sound is different thanks to a bespoke exhaust system. The STO's throttle map has been recalibrated too. And the selectable drive modes are not the Lambo standard Strada, Sport, and Corsa. Instead, the STO gets STO, Trofeo, and Pioggia, which means road, dry race, and wet race. And its massive rear wing can be angled 3 different ways based on track layouts, or how ridiculous you want to look at Cars and Coffee. In a case of deja vu, Mercedes has earned yet another lap record. This time, the AMG-GT Black Series snags the title of the fastest street-legal sports car on the famous Nürburgring. You may remember that last week, the Mercedes AMG GT 63S was named the fastest luxury class vehicle on the famed North Loop, with a running time of 7 minutes and 23 seconds on the 12.8-mile long track to beat out Porsche. The AMG GT Black Series did the same loop in 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Now this is about 1.4 seconds faster than the now second-place finisher, the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Piloted by GT3 driver Mauro Engel, the GT Black Series was a stock vehicle featuring standard equipment, but had a host of suspension features set to the most aggressive settings, like the camber and sway bars. If Mercedes holds this pace, eventually the only records left to break will be its own. It's time for Throwback Thursday, where we talk about something cool from the past that you may have forgotten about. Today, we reminisce about the BMW Z8 Roadster. It's been 20 years since BMW introduced the Roadster to the world. Making its debut in the world is not enough. The Z8 Roadster was designed as a nod to the iconic BMW 507 from the 1950s. Designed by Henrik Fisker, the Z8 has arguably aged better than the Razzie award-winning film. The 507 was reflected in the Z8's retro styling, but the Z8's modern flourishes included a stiff but comfortable suspension, a perfect 50-50 weight ratio, a short throw 6-speed, and the E39 M5's 4.9-liter V8. Priced at $128,000 when new, the Z8 wasn't a huge sales success. A little more than 5,700 were built between 2000 and 2003, half of which are sold in the U.S. Today, limited availability plus retroactive appreciation makes it a collector's car. Those in Concours level condition go for $250,000 on average. Worth it. You can read more about the Z8 at Hagerty.com/media. Well, that's all for me today. Next week, we're taking a break for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we'll be back after we've gobbled through all those leftovers to bring you some more top news stories. Until then, stay safe, eat well, and keep driving.